Welcome to Gym Owner Freedom. I am Scott Carpenter, and I am a former broke, struggling, frustrated, and overworked gym owner that felt stuck no matter what I did to try and improve the business. Once I realized that the answer wasn't what I thought it was, just getting more clients, and after really doing the math on acquisition and churn rates, I realized I wasn't even playing a winnable game to begin with. With my current price structure, mathematically, there was no way I could afford to pay my staff so I could scale up and out of the business, that I can have the time, the money, the impact, and the freedom that I always knew I was capable of. Once I learned how to add value by selling transformational programs to people who needed more than just workouts, everything changed in my life. Today, I own 6 gyms that all run without me, and I am free to pursue my passion projects and work just because I love to, not because I have to. And if that's a goal that we mutually share together, then this is the show for you. I'm going to teach you the framework to make way more money with less clients and open up a world of possibilities to you. Subscribe, leave a review, and tune in every week. It'll change your life. I promise you that. Big Dave, how you doing?
Fantastic, dude. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm up here at the Flagstaff cabin. Get to see snow. I know for a lot of you, that might not be very exciting, but for us that live in Phoenix, Scottsdale area, getting to see snow is pretty badass, actually. Amazing 4-season place. I just got off a call with a kick-ass gym owner who's going to be starting our program, by the way, Dave. 23 years old, okay? 23 years old. He's averaging $40K a month, but he's kind of tapped out where he's at right now. He's going to be such an awesome addition. It's going to be a lot of fun. But he had some questions on kind of what we're going to talk about today too, which is the 5-step process that we use to sell $3,000 programs. And this is your bread and butter, Dave. This is what you teach every single day to people. This is what changed the course of our businesses. 3.5 years ago?
Crazy. 3.5 years. That's unreal.
Yeah. I'd say almost 3.5 years. And obviously it refined. It's a lot different than it was then, and it has improved, and it will continue to always improve because it either gets better and you change with the times or you die. Which is what a lot of people we've been on the calls with, and I have a lot. I can't even keep up with it sometimes. They're running like the 6-week challenge play from 9 years ago. And you can get away with it in some markets. Some market, like the big small towns, like the one I was just on a call with. He's in like a town of 40,000. He's like really the only. There's one other PT studio in the place, but like the rest might just be group or whatever. But he's doing pretty well. He's stuck now, right? But needs to go. But the bottom line is, I also know people with 4 gyms in California that do $1 million a pop, and they're going down. It's
100%.
You got to change, man. I mean, I'd love to say that our program, this is it, the end all be all, but it's going to continue to evolve and get better and change with the times, because 2023 was a lot different than 2022, especially towards the end of the year.
100%. No, you know that we have to, we're blessed in the fact that we own gyms. So, it was a smack in the face opening up Mesa, and me being back in day to day, just seeing the temperature checks a little bit different. Like things are different. So, I mean, at this point, I think this is our 14th cohort. So our January cohort is going through the program right now. I change it every single cohort, like legitimately every single cohort. I have to update it either. Okay, how can it be more simple, more bite-sized to where like everybody gets it, or what do I need to change because the times are changing, the economy's changing. So even creating this presentation today, I'm like, holy crap, it's a little bit simpler than it was even when we first started, when we had zero structure. It was Lakin and Deontay who started with this, and David Oquindo. Like, holy crap, our program didn't suck. We just had to over deliver because we didn't know what the hell we were doing. So it's really cool to see how, as the times change, like the way that we teach our program, the way that we teach the sales process changes.
Always. And it should. I mean, business is tough. And we work with so many different types of business owners, ones that are at 30 or 40 and they need to double that, whatever it is. We work with people who are at 10. Those are harder. It's like
we got to help out a lot more on the lead gen side with those people, and a lot of their mindsets to get them to believe that they can get past this 10 or 15K a month mark, or even 20. But yeah, it's just, you guys know, for those of you, if this is your first live training, you might not know. If you've been on a few, if you listen to our podcasts or anything like that, obviously you know that we're a little bit different. Dave and I are a little bit different. We care a shit ton. And this is why, yeah, we've got like 14 iterations of this thing getting better and better and better. We don't just want to sell shit, you know? I mean, that's the whole thing. I've never wanted to do it. God, I quit my corporate career because I'm like, I just can't sell stupid shit I don't believe in, you know? And unlike every other coaching program out there, we didn't get into this because there's more money into it. You know, we got into this because we saw the success in our gyms and people asked us to help them. And then they got results and they shared it with other people, and they got results and they shared it with other people. And here we are. So thanks for listening in. Thanks for coming in here. And Dave's got something cool that he's going to give for free to everybody today on the call. Oh. If you're listening to the recording later on or the podcast, no worries. I'm sure he'll give you directions on how to do it. But if you're listening to this 3 months from now, a year from now, yeah, you can still get this thing too. No problem. So Dave, let's hear it, man. So tell us about this sales process, because I probably don't even know the complete up-to-date stuff.
There's a couple of things. If you're tuning into this thing and it's live, you better be writing live. If you're watching it on replay, type in replay. The way I teach, I don't know how many of you guys have kids, but now the Braxman is turning 4 here in, my gosh, 4 months. 4 months, I'm going to have a 4-year-old. And the way I like to teach, I was on a call with my mentor yesterday, and he's like, what did you get the most out of today's conversation? And I go, you treated me like a toddler, Sky. That's what I got the most out of today's conversation. So what I'm going to do today, guys, is like, I really want to teach you guys the in and outs of this sales process, the 5-step sales process, but I really want to simplify it so you can go out there and start executing it, and you just really grasp it from a high level. So that's kind of the purpose of today's training. I'm going to walk you guys through really the 13 iterations and then the 1.5 years of PTL before we had the cohort. It really boils down to these 5 steps. If you master these 5 things, which I am going to go over in detail today, honestly, you could probably start selling a high ticket program right now out of the gate. So step number 1, we're going to quiz Scott today too. I like to have fun. Like, how does our sales process start, Scott? Like, first thing, lead comes in. How does it start?
Lead comes in. We don't necessarily book it right for that consult. We do a discovery call.
100%.
So, for a lot of different reasons.
Discovery call. So discovery call, but there is kind of the nucleus, the heart to the discovery call. There's one thing that I want out of the discovery call. And if you execute this one thing properly in the discovery call, everything changes. So lead comes in the pipeline. We're not going to go a deep dive into the discovery call, but basically it's a 5 to 10 minute qualifying call. You get to set the frame. You get to go on offense. You're not answering a bunch of the questions. You're firing questions off at them. From there, you get to qualify them, especially if you're working with colder audience. I don't want to waste 40 minutes with a cold Facebook person. So if you're running paid ads out there right now, I highly recommend you start a discovery call process now, because you can eliminate the negative Nancys and negative Toms out there that frankly are just tire kickers. So that is
if you're running Facebook ads, you're going to want to do this just because first of all, show rate for Facebook ads is atrocious. The call I was just on, literally 50%. I've seen it higher. I've seen it 70%.
Yes.
And then there's nothing worse than getting in front of somebody who's on food stamps. You know what I mean? It sucks. It sucks. That's an hour of your day, and it's horrible.
So for the person that comes out on the back end of the discovery call and they're qualified, okay, they're showing a little bit of energy on the call, right? Like and there's 4 questions you ask in the discovery call. So basically, like 4 questions, high level, is like, hey, like describe what you're struggling with right now. What does that gap look like between where you are now? Where do you want to go? What's your biggest obstacle? How big of a priority? So those questions right there, honestly, you have a lot from them after that. 4 questions is going to be right at 3 to 5 minutes. After that, and this is going to be my first step in the sales process, get their whys from them before the PC. For me, and I say this every single cohort, if I go into a console and I give them the homework at the end of that discovery call, and if they take it serious, they come into the perfect consult with 7 paragraphs of the reasons why they want to change. The way that I look at a consult, if I don't have the whys, it's like the big ass iceberg and I just have to chip away. Me investing 5 to 10 minutes before that consult, and I challenge them at the end of the call. Okay. And should we give them a live example of what that kind of that call out, that challenge looks like, Scott, so they can kind of take it and make it their own?
100%. Absolutely.
Okay. Why the whys are so important to me is I know that I honestly can't help someone change and change forever unless there's something bigger than weight loss. And the majority of people that come into our pipeline, guys, they want to get fitter, they want to lose weight. Like that's it, right? Maybe have more energy. So what I'm doing at the very end of the discovery call is I'm challenging to peel back some layers of the onion and really think about why they want to change. So if I'm on the call with Scott, and let's just say Scott's a dad, I'm challenging him at the end of the call. I'm saying like, Scott, like, dude, I have a piece of homework for you. Can you, are you up to doing a little homework assignment before our consult tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. So we mentioned several times on this call that you want to lose that. I think it was 12.5 pounds was the exact number that you wanted to lose. And honestly, brother, like I'm all about aesthetics, but what I've learned through the years, just solely relying on a number on the scale, there's not enough skin in the game that really is going to force long-term change. So what my challenge for you to do, man, is, and I want you to take it serious and marinate on it. Take 15, take 20 minutes. Think about why you really want to change. And I can tell you, for me as a dad, and I know you said you have 2 little ones, like my driving force, my North Star is I want to be the best version of myself as a dad. So I don't know if that's one of yours or if it's not one of yours, but can you marinate, brother, on why this 12.5 pounds, why it means so much? Can you do that for me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, perfect. So here's what I want you to do. I'm going to email you over a couple of prompting questions. Make sure that you have this email complete before our consult tomorrow. Can you do that for me?
Yeah.
Okay. So see what I did right there, Scott? Like this is the kind of the newest version of the way I teach it. Tie in some of your personal story. So typically I'm talking to moms and I'm talking to dads. Okay. So I know the driving force for most dads out there, and Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, like most dads want to stay in shape so they can pick their kids up and they have more energy after a 16-hour day. For most dads out there, that is 1A, 1B driving force. For most moms out there, and I have a mom, she always put herself on a back burner. So if I'm talking to a mom at the end of the discovery call, I'm putting it on a T for them. I'm like, I know for me and my mom, like her driving force, and the reason I always wanted her to take her fitness serious was she always put herself on the back burner. So pulling out just a little bit of your personal story, what would have been your number one why? If you would have wrote that, Scott, what would your number one why have been coming into that consult?
God, if I hadn't done that, if I just came in, you talking about, or if
No,
you
let's just say because I did, I prompted you. So I prompted you at the end.
Mine would be about the exact same thing that you just mentioned. Yeah.
100%. And then how much easier, guys, does that make the PC process?
God, it's so much easier. And I know you might be listening and you're like, that sounds a little not like a big deal. It is a big deal. And I love this newest version, Dave, because you inserted the reason why you do what you do. And I'm sure you've all seen that Simon Sinek talk.
Start with why.
Right? Start with why. And people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Right? It's so important. And again, people don't want to buy from a giant company. They want to buy from somebody they know and like and trust and have a connection with. And when Dave prompts it with the reason why, what is for him, like you're creating a connection because again, he's giving you for male and female kind of exactly what they are for 90-something% of them. And when you tee it up like that, they're like, holy shit, me too. This person gets me.
This is me. This is me. Yeah. This person gets me. So guess what that's going to do, guys? You stepping out of your comfort zone and challenging them like that, like it makes it different. So number one, they know coming into that PC that you're probably not selling a $79 membership. So I've done my job from the second that they met me. Like this person is way different. He challenged me. He asked questions. He listened to me. He just challenged me to think about why I really wanted to change. So there's so much power, guys, in introducing that discovery call, specifically when you really dial in. Julie Puzo, an old legend of ours, she was the best in the world at pulling out the whys at the end. She went on one spree where I think she closed like 12 to 15 high ticket clients in the world. If you would go back and ask her why, she was like, because I nailed that discovery call and they knew that they were going to sign up the second that they came in before even having a conversation during the perfect consultation.
I put in that text message that I got from a client. Are you showing that today, or can I show that if you're not?
You can show it. Yeah, I did not have that when I was creating my presentation, but I think is a perfect opportunity.
I want to show you this, guys, because this is when this is my very first one. It was literally because I was at Desert Ridge, that location. I have not been working in Desert Ridge like for a long time, but I wanted to start to help Shane learn this new sales process. So I took a few reps. I was not very good at it because I just been out of it for so long. But my very first discovery call, here's the text message. I had to dig it up and I put it in here. Now, I'm not on my desktop at home in my office. I'm at the vacation cabin, so it's a little small. So, and I'm not going to read the full thing, but I literally did a discovery call. Instead of having them email it to me, I had her text it to me. And I asked her for 5 things. She wrote 6. Now, this is it. You're looking at it if you're watching this on the video. I'll summarize it for those of you who just have audio. She wrote 6 reasons. 1, confidence. I want my confidence back. I'm embarrassed to even leave the house. I feel ashamed that I've let myself get to be this size. I think my family is embarrassed to be seen with me. You see one of the most confident people and I miss it. Embarrassed to be seen naked. I wear sweatpants and sweatshirts, even when it's hot, just to hide my body. This is in Phoenix, guys. It's hot all the time. She skips out on parties and get-togethers just because of how she's ashamed of how she looks. 2, children. She feels she's a bad example for her kids. 3, energy. Constantly drained, perpetually exhausted. Constant obsession. It stems from my overall health and constant obsession of how I look and feel right now. 4, my mind. I feel like all I think about every day is how awful I feel, how I feel is heavy and gross, tired, embarrassed. And it goes on. She even talks about how it affects her sex life with her spouse. She's just in her head the whole time. This was from a 5-minute consultation, a 5-minute discovery call, guys. My very first one. I can promise you I was not good at it. And we didn't even I didn't get any sense of this on this call, at all about this huge bleeding neck emotional issue. And that is the text message she sent me with those answers. So needless to say, I closed that consultation. It was the easiest one I've ever done. And I sold a $3,000 transformation program, a 9-week transformation program. That's the power of a discovery call like this. Now, it's even better when you get good at it, though.
100%. And there's actually one of my mentors, I'm not going to call him out. He actually, he wrote an email the other day, why you should never ask people for their whys, which I thought was interesting. So here's my take on it. The why matters to me so much. So I know presenting it at the end of the discovery call, I know some people aren't going to connect with it. That's fine. Maybe they just send me 5 one-word answers, right? Like, it's kind of like, hey, can you follow a piece of a coaching assignment? Like, typically, if they're not willing to do that, they're probably not going to sign up for any program, right? What I'm looking for is what Scott just showed, the 2 or 3 people that are ready to have that conversation. So a lot of mentors out there, like it's kind of it's like 2024 is the anti-Simon Sinek. Like, don't talk about your why. No, that's the one thing that's always going to be a big part of PTL. It's like, because we're hand selecting people that we want to work with on that level. This homework assignment right here is kind of like a qualifier. So for me, guys, like, there's gonna be a lot of people saying, don't ask the why. I'm always going to ask the why. Why? Because it matters so much to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I've heard that too. It doesn't make any sense to me. And again, there's nuance. I'm sure there's people doing it really shitty and it's ineffective the way they're doing it or what they're doing.
Yeah.
But guys, this got our 7th gym starting up. This shit works. Put it that way.
Love it. And what we do too, guys, in the cohort is like, we never give a script and say, good luck. It's more about, I teach frameworks, then you take it and you make it your own. That's my favorite part with what we do. So like what I just said to Scott, that might not be like, I'll never say that. Like, it's very important that you craft your own version of
100%. Or else you sound inauthentic. And we've made that mistake. We've hired, Dave and I have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on coaches everywhere in all aspects. Online coaching and Facebook groups and marketing this, marketing that, and business, everything you can imagine. And sometimes when people give us like scripts, it's not you. And we have the scripts, but like we help you develop them and create your own, because You have to feel comfortable and confident in doing it. And when I got somebody else's words and tried to use them, I didn't feel authentic. And it's really hard to sell something when you don't feel authentic. I actually really suck at it. And even when learning marketing things, like, yes, this is proven to work. Okay, great. But I don't feel good about it. Right. And trust me, you're not getting anything from us that you're not going to feel good about. I can promise you. But, you know, you've got to really mesh with it. So, yeah, we teach you, here's the scripts. We teach you how to do it. We teach you how to find your voice. And that just goes such a long way, because if you don't believe 100% of what you're doing, it's really hard to sell it.
100%. So we go to step number 2 now. So you just got some juicy whys. Step number 2, and this is actually, I don't even know if you've seen this, Scott. So the way that we're really simplifying the PC process, okay, we've created a framework. I didn't create it. So it's a framework that I always had. I just needed to dummy it down. And I heard this on a podcast like 8 months ago. So it's a 5-step process that we've taken and kind of making it our own. And it's called the Sell the Hell framework. So the way that it works. So keep in mind, now I have the whys. So the first half of what we call the PC, the perfect consultation, which is the next step in the two-part sales process, I don't have to spend a ton of time building a bunch of rapport with them. They sit down. From there, I'll collect some data. Okay, where's your starting weight? Where do you want to go? What programs have you tried in the past? What diets have you tried in the past? But then from there, 5 to 10 minutes in, we're ready to tackle this thing head on. So this is the one question that I ask before every single consult. And that one question is, why did they come to see me? Why did they really come to see me? And here's the bottom line, guys. If I can answer that question, I know that I'm going to knock their socks off with our mentorship program. Now, notice I said knock their socks off. I don't know if they're going to buy it or not, right? There's obstacles that we're going to have to overcome. Like in the economy we're in right now, like some people don't have $3,000 to spend, okay? But I know if I can answer that question, that's my core, that's my driving force every single consult. I'm answering the question, why did they really come to see me? And if I can figure that out, then I did my job. Utilizing this framework is the one thing that will allow you to answer that question. Some people aren't going to be willing to have the conversation. Maybe it is a cold Facebook lead and like they just, they're going to appreciate that you're asking them questions, but they might not be willing to have the conversation that day. But there's a whole heck of a lot of people that are willing. So high level here, guys, we're going to get very micro. Let's take probably 70% of the people that come in a green light, I would say, are moms. Is that an accurate statement, would you say, between our undergrounds and green lights?
I'd say about 70%, maybe some locations 65. Yeah, that's about right.
So let's take the mom out there. The mom out there, and we had a good discovery call. We have some good rapport. If I ask her step number 1 in the Sell the Hell framework, okay? So take my mom. We'll use Tammy as an example. If you'd ask Tammy, like, hey, what's your biggest challenge right now? Like, describe to me what's not working in your health and fitness right now. Tell me what's not working. Typically here, guys, you're going to get a very surface level answer. Okay. So I said, man, Dave, it's just my weight, it just goes up, it goes down, it goes all around. I'm on this diet yo-yo roller coaster. It's just, at the end of the day, it's just, my gosh, it's just, I don't feel like myself. That's great. Especially after coming from the whys, like that answer right there. That sounds fantastic. But is Tammy going to purchase a $3,000 to $5,000 program with that? Absolutely not. So I just pulled out her though there. What was the key word that I said there, Scott? Did you hear like the uncomfortable word? Correct? So I said uncomfortable.
Are you talking about the tell? Are you talking about the tell me?
Yeah. So no. So I was answering as Tammy. You're always going to get a word out of this step number 1. That's something like, I want to lose weight. I feel uncomfortable. So from there, I'm going to ask her, and this is step number 2. How long have you felt uncomfortable? So from there, all of a sudden she's thinking, well, honestly, Dave, I've felt like this for the last 2 to 3 years, or maybe it is since my second little one was born. So then from there, this is the key, guys. It's going to be question number 3. Well, describe how this has been showing up in your life. So you've been uncomfortable, Tammy, for the last, you said 4 years. Describe how this is showing up in your life. From here, guys, you're going to peel back 3-4 layers of the onion. From there, they're going to talk about the fact that potentially maybe they don't feel like they're the best mom they can be. They're always, they wake up every single day in survival mode. It's causing relationship issues with their significant other. How is that uncomfortability? How is that really impacting other areas of your life? Now we're getting somewhere. Then from there, I'm going to follow up with, how long have you felt like this? This is I call it almost, it's the come to Jesus moment, to where a lot of people, and I've had this happen, I can't tell you how many times, where a mom says, I felt like this for the last decade, for the last 20 years. How long have you put yourself on the back burner? It's been the last 2 decades. So from there, guys, I've done my job. There's only one more thing to do, and that's to future paste it. So you felt like this, and it's causing issues in all aspects of your life. You felt like this for the last 20 years. What's going to happen in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years if you don't take action? So the last step in this Sell the Hell framework, guys, is you're having them future paced. What's going to happen? What happens if they don't take action? So what I love most, guys, about this framework is going to keep you in your bumper lanes. Okay, so we talked about whys. There's a million TED questions that we give all of our legends, but utilizing this framework allows you to stay inside of your bumper lanes. Talk about like surface level, what's going on. Okay, how long has that been going on? Describe how that's impacting other areas of your life. How long have you felt like that? And future paste it. Utilizing those 5 steps right there, I call it the onion. That should allow you to pull back 1, 2, 3, 4. It should allow you to pull back all the layers of the onion to get to the core. Once you get to that core and future paste it, it's almost a no-brainer that they have to sign up for your mentorship program. Does this make sense, Scott? I think this is probably your first live run at the Sell the Hell framework.
I like this because for a lot of people, it's hard. They feel uncomfortable asking probing questions, right? Because again, we got to peel back the layers of the onion, right? It's okay, weight loss. I'd like to lose 20 pounds. Okay, cool. So then we go into like what you should be doing on that.
Yes.
It's like, dude, if you're doing sales like that, you're missing a lot, everything. This is why you're probably selling, coffee at Circle K prices instead of Starbucks prices. That's the difference, right? If you want to hit 30 to 50% profit margins in your gym like we do, this is what you're going to have to learn to do. But I get uncomfortable asking probing questions sometimes, right? And I didn't have as many reps too, right? Like I didn't do as much of it, but like this is really good on how to do that without making yourself feel uncomfortable. And because that stops people, right? It's like they feel this does not seem like you're probing and prying and like forcing something out. This is a very natural conversation. I really, really love this.
And there's a lot of nuances to it, guys. And it's just like weight training. Like, and once again, what we focus on with our 8-week launch cohort is live reps. So like next week, we're actually doing all live reps in my January cohort with just Sell the Hell framework. So this is one, like, you have to have reps to get really good at it, but you can take this today, right now. Take a snapshot of like this slide right here. Just doing this. Hey, what's your biggest challenge? Oh, my weight. How long has this been going on? 15 years. Describe how this is showing up in your life. Well, honestly, I look in the mirror and I'm really uncomfortable. How long have you felt like that? Since college. What's going to happen if you don't change? So you see, guys, like you don't have to even ask a ton of probing questions. Just utilizing this framework by itself, it will probably peel back more layers of the onion now than you're doing. So you don't have to like the follow-up questions, like that's where the real magic is. But just utilizing this framework right here, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 3, 4, 5, future paste it. I guarantee you'll get 3 times more out of them than what you're currently utilizing right now.
That's awesome.
Okay.
That's awesome. So, and I know you'll probably say this at the end, but this is really juicy. And like, I even want to get on and learn how to implement this and practice it too. And see how others, maybe you're a little bit shy, but you want to see how others are doing this in practice instead of just in theory. I think you mentioned right before we hopped on and started recording, but what were you going to do for people?
Here's the thing, guys, like take a test run at what we do. So kind of what we want to invite anyone that's listening live on a replay. If you want to join one of our live cohort sessions where we get into live reps, it's a little bit of theory, but it's more about pushing the gas pedal down and go, go, go. if you want to come in over the course and join any of my January cohort, we're going to get into juicy stuff the next 3 weeks. If you want more information, you want to join a call live, just write legend in the comments. And then either myself or Josh will reach out. We'll get you the Zoom link. We'll get you the times. Come and test drive a session. I might call you. I might put you on the spot, and you'll see how, like, with that uncomfortability is where you see all of your growth. Or if you're like, Dave, I just want to tune in and see what you guys do, we can do that too. But type legend in the comments, guys, and we'll get you an invite to one of our calls here in the next couple weeks.
It's really good to see this shit in practice, guys. So take him up on that. Type legend in the comments, and you can hop on. And yeah, hey, you might just want to be a fly on the wall and turn your video and audio off. Better step up. I understand that. Step up, join in, right? And we're going to go around the room and put in some reps. We're going to learn the nuances. We're going to put in the reps, and you're going to get a shot. And Dave has an entire sales training cohort that's the best in the world. I've seen him take people who have suck at sales, have no business selling, and they're never going to be a rock star if legitimately it's against all your God-given talents. But I have seen him take very weak salespeople and make them truly incredible. And it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, come in and participate or be a fly on the wall. But throw that comment in there. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, just dave@ptlegends.com. Shoot him an email there, dave@ptlegends.com. And yeah, he'll get you, we'll figure out what's the best one to join in, and we can do that.
Probably the most out of the gate, gosh, he's not gonna kill me. He knows it. Austin Garber, who went through our program, and honestly, we didn't have all these frameworks that we have now, but
yeah,
out of the gate, I've never seen someone as nervous as Austin Garber. Long story short, I just got off a call with Austin, and we're going over our numbers. He owns one of our green lights now in Chico. Okay, this son of a gun has closed 25 of his last 26. And he was the worst in the reg. I had a problem with that. I'm like, dude, we have to increase your rates. You should never be 25. But that shows you guys, like, putting in the live reps, just like the person that's never worked out before. They do it for a year and a half, 2 years. What happens? They change their body composition. You can change your salesmanship skills by getting in those live reps. And Austin Garber, I don't think I've ever seen anyone work this hard at his salesmanship craft. But he went 2 years ago from, he couldn't sell I don't even know. He couldn't sell anything, to a point to where he closed 25 of his last 26 clients that walked into our green light.
That's unreal. Guys, he's in his early 20s too.
Okay,
that's exceptional.
Step 3, we're on the time clock area. I'm going to try to jam this thing in 9 minutes. So
go for it.
The hell is so important, guys. And it can be easy to put all your eggs into that basket and then pull out their deepest, darkest fears and not respect the heaven. It is so vital after having that conversation and pulling out maybe some pain that a person has never really discussed in their entire life, that you bring them back to the heaven and talk about how they really want to feel. So it's very important, guys. You still use the same type of framework. Tell me, explain to me, describe to me. The key here is we want them to build out what is possible. What do they want their future to be? So a couple of big questions here is have them define, like, what does success look like? The second question is my favorite question in the heaven, though. And I say, paint me a picture in detail. Describe how you want to feel 6 months from now. You're down to 15 pounds. You're down to 20 pounds. You look in the mirror. You're having confidence. Describe how you're going to feel. Describe how your life is going to be different. That is where they start getting ramped up and they start getting excited, right? They start building that dream vision. And then after you've spent that time, here's a gold nugget. I always have them describe in one word, one phrase, how do they want their life to be? One word, one phrase. It's never, I want to lose the weight. It's, I want to feel free. I want to feel comfortable, right? I want to feel exuberant. Like, you're going to get one of those just juicy words. Then from there, it's a couple of follow-up questions. What would it mean to you? What would it mean to you if this vision was a reality? Then the last question, are you ready to make it a reality? Right now, today. Every single person in the world, guys, is going to say yes to that question. So getting the hell out of them is so important, but is equally as important to spend some time in the heaven building out not what they want their life to look, just what they want their life to look like, but how do they want to feel? How different would life be if they took care of their health and fitness and achieved whatever their goals were. Any follow-up there, Scott, before we transition to the next two pieces?
That's good. If you notice what he did, he got one word from the hell portion, uncomfortable. And you want to find whatever that is for that person. And then he got one word that he's trying to get out of the heaven. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yep.
Then
like
from
free
there,
or whatever it is, confident or whatever. Yeah.
I'll skip the graphic here. So kind of to recap where we're at so far, guys, is you painted the hell. At this point, you've probably pulled out 4, 5, 6 really key words. Okay. You've done the same energy, the same concept in the heaven. Okay. So at this point in time, once you have the hell figured out, 2 or 3 keywords, 2 or 3 bullet pointed words, 2 to 3 words in the heaven, this is where the sell was made. Probably our best salesperson ever to go through PTL, Jared Stillwell. He will stamp this with a approval. The monster recap, this is the crazy part, guys. It's probably the first time in the entire conversation that you're not asking questions. The only other, like the discovery call and the first 75% of the PC, it's all about them. You're asking questions. Now, the monster recap is still about them, but it's probably the first time that you're going to get to talk for 30, 60, 90 to 120 seconds. It is so vital, guys. If they have that moment where they realized that you know their story better than they know it, then it almost damn near forces them to move forward with the program. So that monster recap, guys, and I'm going to keep it super high level for today. Typically, this is the way that the monster recap is going to go. Scott, you came in here and you wanted to lose, I think 12 and a half pounds was your magic number. But after talking with you, brother, it's what that 12 and a half pounds represents. You come home every single day from, your PTL, your green light, and you're exhausted to a T. And because of that, you don't feel like you're the best version of yourself as a dad. A perfect monster recap there in the hell. Transition to the heaven. Yeah, you want to be down the 12 pounds so you can go to the ring with your sword and be a better sword fighter and have a little bit more confidence when you look in the mirror. But that's not what this is about. That's not why you're here. You're here to put yourself, number one, so you can be the best version of yourself as a dad. Did I miss anything? So really short.
You got me excited to really jumpstart.
I got the sword in there. I put the sword into your monster recap too. Yeah. But that's the one time, guys, to where they're just shaking their head. They're saying, holy crap, like this person listened to me. Might be the first person that's ever listened to me in my entire life. And they could just, and once again, guys, it takes live reps, but the second that you can repeat it back in story form, what questions are they going to have? Like the majority of people, if you know your monster recap, which is step 4 in the process, they're going to buy a program, period. It might not always be your high ticket program, but I guarantee they are going to move forward with you just because you're probably the only person in their entire history of fitness that asks them questions to listen to their story. You ready for the fun one now, Scott? Step 5?
Yep.
This is what changes the game, guys. So here's the bottom line. We're all selling the same crap. We're all selling this. Fitness, nutrition, accountability. We're all selling it, okay? But I can't tell you guys, like, I'm not going to get fired up selling that. So what my challenge to you here, and this is where you're going to be able to eliminate the majority of objections, is coming up with your uniques. And what I mean by uniques is what makes your program the best program in the history of the world. And once you know those uniques, guess what? You don't have to speak 15, 20 minutes about, your pitch and all the ins and outs of the program. You deliver your uniques that eliminates any potential objection that they have, and they will not be able to compare your program to any program in the world. So once again, let's take a live action look. So for Greenlight right here, we have 3 uniques. This is what makes Greenlight the best in the world. We're about time efficient workouts. We already know our avatar, 99% of people that are going to come to see us, they're going to be in 2 buckets: busy parents, busy professionals. That's who we want to work with. What's the most important thing? With our workouts, it's not the most combative 60 minutes of getting the crap kicked out of them. It's time efficient workouts. So 2 30-minute workouts, we designed it specifically for you as a busy mom, Tammy. And guess what? We're also going to keep you safe. You're not a spring chicken anymore. It's a time efficient workout, and you're going to leave the gym feeling great, and you're not going to get injured. That's all Tammy wants. That's it. No one else in the industry is really pitching that as one of their uniques. The second unique, when it comes to nutrition, we believe in the 4F equation. We're going to build a strategy for you, Tammy, that is fun, that is flexible, that includes your family and your friends so you can do it forever. I'm not talking about macronutrients. I'm not talking about science. I'm talking about what Tammy wants as a busy mom. She wants a fun plan that's flexible, that includes the foods that she likes, that allows her to go out on girls' night to have a couple cocktails on a Friday, that allows her to get her entire family involved in the process. So do you see, guys, I've eliminated all potential objections when it comes to nutrition. It's just based off of the 4Fs. And kind of the cornerstone, what we believe makes Greenlight super special is all of our clients get assigned a one-on-one mentor. They're either working with that mentor on a weekly, bi-weekly, or a monthly path. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You add those three together, any potential objection that they have, some people just, maybe they're not ready to move forward. But I can guarantee you it's not going to be because they don't see the value in the program. So guys, this is the next phase of what we're really going to focus on with PTL is helping all of our gym owners develop their uniques. I know Tiach even did a training on it yesterday, but my gosh, it's not just about pillars of the program anymore. It's, hey, what makes your program the best in the world? And here's the cool thing, guys. Once you can really define what makes your program the best in the world, what's going to happen? You're going to do more B2B outreach. You're going to get out there into community and shake hands. Like if someone stops me at the park and they see me wearing a green light, hey, what's Greenlight about? I'm like, well, first off, are you a parent? Yeah. Well, we built a program that is based off of time efficient workouts, and every single one of our clients works with a mentor. Can you tell me more about that? So that's step 5, guys. And that's probably the newest step to our equation. It's freaking exciting for me to tell my uniques, but for the end user, it allows me to eliminate all of their potential objections. So I think that's probably new for you, Scott, right? I don't think this is the newest.
And that's so important because that leads to just marketing excellence. It's just, we don't know how to differentiate ourselves. It's very hard to these things need to be developed for your business because you need to be getting a haircut, and dude, your barber, the owner, whatever it is, or a hairstylist, a salon owner, whatever, they should be working out at your place. And then they should be telling all the freaking clients in there about you too, and leaving your stuff at the front desk. And this is stuff that you and brand, like the stuff you're doing, but you need to know how to craft these things and talk to people. This is the difference of you always having to rely on paid ads, which is fucking terrible. And you building a business where you're not beholden to Facebook and algorithms and cost per leads and dialing the same person 6 times in order to get them across the board. And you're going to get no-showed 50 to 70% of the time. That's hell. And I'm not saying don't do paid ads. It has its place. But man, when you learn how to talk about, when you're passionate about what you do, and so whether you need, that's it, right? You need to have conviction. You need to be passionate about it. You need to connect it to your whys. I guarantee you did not get into this. Dave is the only person who got into this business thinking he was going to make a ton of money. Everybody else got into it. There are a lot easier industries than this. But we got into this because, God, we have a why. We have a why. And you need to learn how to connect that into it. You need to learn your differentiators. You need to learn how to communicate this, and you need to help people with the real problem that they have. You do all these things, you can build an amazing bulletproof business that does amazing work in the world, and you're going to be massively profitable.
Another thing about the pillars too, like Scott, it doesn't really matter what your uniques are if you're passionate about them. So what I mean by that, take Jimmy H, who's in our December cohort. Cool dude. He's a carnivore guy. I'm never going to do carnivore. I'm not that guy. But we helped Jimmy inside of our cohort to develop his uniques. And what it was his big thing with nutrition. You're going to eat like a man. We're going to teach you to eat meat. So once again, guys, it doesn't matter what your uniques are. It's your passion that you bring to them. So that's why, with our cohorts, we never are like, hey, here's your pillars of your program, sell it. It's like, no, how can we take the framework of it and make it your own? So that's a specific example of, it really doesn't matter what your uniques are. Scott, you nailed it. It's the passion that you talk about your uniques and how much you believe in it. And that conviction, guys, is part of step 5 in the sales process. When you're looking someone in the eyes and they can feel that energy, they feel that excitement, and they know that you have the only solution. like I said, in this economy, like some people aren't going to purchase the high ticket, but man, it does not take very many people saying, yes, this is what I'm about. Let's move forward. That can completely shift your model and your business.
Yep, absolutely. And I know this is a lot of information, guys. There's 5 steps, but there's a lot of shit in there. There's a lot of nuance. It's like, holy cow, I can see how this stuff works, but it's going to take a while to wrap my head around it, to get good at it, to all this kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, a lot of us will look at something like this. We'll like take one piece and try it, right? Feel uncomfortable with it because it's not our sales process, and go back to the old shit. Yeah. And don't do that. Okay. So type in the comment, type in legend. Dave will have you come, and you can see this as we all craft our stories and our whys and right, get the reps in on it. And he runs an 8-week cohort. Well, he'll take you from beginning to end and do all this with you. It's incredible. And this is we just started offering this right now, actually, for just the sales piece. So a lot of you guys go through high ticket launch. It's our big program where we help you do your high tickets and the acquisition, the organic stuff, right? All of that, as well as the sales. Some of you just need to get better at sales or train somebody on your staff so you can get out of it or whatever it is. You know, if you're interested in that, again, just come to a call, see if it's your speed. We'd love to have you observe us in action and with other gym owners too.
Yeah. When you messaged me this morning, be like, hey, I'm giving you the keys today. Basically what we just took you guys through in the last 45 minutes, we do the intensive cohort that covers every single one of these, every step of the process in detail, with the focus on live reps. So instead of me talking about it the entire time, we do live reps. So we start at the discovery call. Okay. We get into the sell to hell, the TED framework. Okay. Figuring out what are your uniques. And then we even do 2 to 3 weeks of objection handling. So we jammed basically what we do in 8 weeks into 45 minutes today, guys. But just start with the discovery call. Start with one of them. Fahad, who is in our latest, I think he's in the December cohort. Jesus started with his discovery call, and he messaged me. He's like, dude, this already changed my business, just the discovery call. So he's the biggest advocate of just that portion of it. Once you stack all 5 of those together, guys, like, once again, I'm not going to promise you that you're going to make $50,000 during your launch. Like, we're not going to promise that. But what I can tell you is anyone that goes through our cohort, their confidence in the sales process will multiply by a scale of 1,000. So join a freaking call. Like, that's what we're about. That's the highlight of my day. And most days are very stressful, and I put a lot of energy into the calls. They get really fun. There's so much just energy on the call. So what was our comment? Legend. Type legend. Yep. Type out legend, and we'll invite you into one of our calls.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, if you're listening this way later on the podcast, email dave@ptlegends.com. And then he'll get you situated, hopping on one. So guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dave. Thank you for taking this one. I'm just ill prepared. I'm up at the family vacation cabin. I wasn't fully prepared for the one that we were going to do. So we'll do that one next week. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. We will be here next Thursday teaching you what we were supposed to do today, 12 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. EST. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening, everyone. If you are ready to start making an extra $10,000 a month or more this month by making more money with less clients and create a consistent flow of high-quality leads, you can learn about what it's like to work with me and how ridiculously affordable it is at CoachScottCarpenter.com. And if you got any value out of this episode, please pay it forward and leave a review for this show. It helps other gym owners find the answers to the huge problems that we all share. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.